Is vegan leather a better choice environmentally than real traditional leather? That's the topic for today's video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jan Hibbard, and I've been making handmade leather products since 1977. First of all, I'm going to explain what the difference is between vegan leather and how that differs from veggie tan leather. I'll talk a little bit about other processes of tanning leather and so forth, and the types of leather I use in my business and how that compares and so forth. So, first of all, vegan leather in general, most people would think is more environmentally friendly or more, um, it doesn't use animals. So they right then think that's a better choice. That it's that vegan leather is recycled and stuff. Well, first of all, yes, real leather is made from animal hides, but what happens there is it is ethically sourced, or at least the hides I buy are. They are tanned and used. The rest of the animal, the meat and so forth, is also used for food and things like that. So it's not like it's just being sourced like it was back in the day when the bison were killed just for the sake of the hides and left to die and things like that. So again, as far as that goes, it's it's a good choice. It's also real leather is biodegradable. So it's a better choice there for the environment. Vegetable tan leather. I'll talk again a little bit more about that. Is vegan leather again is synthetic based. It can be done with plants, like sometimes pineapple leaves. They're very fibrous and things like that. So that's used to make a artificial type leather. Recycled materials, cork and things can be used to make what they call a type of leather, and a lot of times that's has like a synthetic backing put to it. But the other things that he also used and very common to make vegan leather are PVC and polyurethane, so plastics. So those are not environmentally friendly. Nothing about the process of making them is environmentally friendly. Nothing about the use of them in things like leather is making it environmentally friendly. It is not going to be biodegradable, things like that. Whereas vegetable tan leather is tanned with plants. Many it also is called oak tanned leather because oak has a lot of tannin in it. Oak acorns and so forth have a lot of tannin in them. So traditionally, if oak is available, that would be what the preferred source. But again, nowadays, bark and other tree matter is used to tan the hides. It is a longer process. It does use water, which might be one of the negative things of it because it does use water to create that process. So that may be one of the negative things about it. But again, it is eco-friendly. It is biodegradable. It is not going to leave any negative footprint on the earth when it's all, gone. Not always true. And like I said, some vegan leather can be eco-friendly because if it's made with pineapple leaves or whatever, then yes, that would be more eco-friendly. But if it's backed within synthetic fiber on the backing or something like that, bonded together, then no. Um, Leather is durable. It is long lasting. It has been used for centuries. Again, I have my catalog over here behind me. It is 47 years old now. What's nice about leather and what people love about it, it gets more beautiful with age. Now, this is getting this nice little bit dry. You could use maybe a little bit of oil on it. But now, see on the back, it's getting the nice shiny patina, which is what everybody loves about leather. If I put some oil on the front, it would really look a little bit more like that too. This side gets a little bit more bleached out because it goes to shows and it's sitting out in the sun. But that is 47 years old, so leather is going to last. So that's the other thing. You might think the vegan is better, um, for the environment, but if you have to keep replacing it, is it really better for the environment? Even if it is made of, plant materials or whatever. So, But it really depends with a vegan leather. There's so, because it can be made of so many different things. Some are going to be better quality than others. Some are going to be more durable than others. Things like that. It's hard to say because there's all different varieties of it now. But in general, the vegetable tan leather is more eco-friendly. Like I said, the negative part, it uses water and energy to in the tanning process. Not to say that tanning vegan leather doesn't use electricity and things to tan it. Now, the difference with other kinds of leather is, other than vegetable tan leather, there's chromium tanned leather. That's tanned with chromium salts, and that is not as eco-friendly. What that is motorcycle jackets and shoes and things, a lot of times are that type of leather, because it is going to be more water repellent. But now back to the vegetable tan leather, because that's really what I'm focusing mostly on now, is the vegetable tan leather. Again, it comes in all different thicknesses, but what's nice about it, you can mold it. Now, leather has been used since the beginning of time. We all know that. People have been wearing it, using animal hides for clothing and so forth, making lots of things. Native Americans used every part of the animal, every part of the hide was used, cording, hides, all that kind of thing. So it has been used, for many different things. Medieval times, I'm going to do a Renaissance fair, so I'm talking a little bit more about medieval times. Again, it was used for armor. So now, how did they make it into armor from a piece of leather? And this is where leather is an incredible material. Vegan leather is not, really going to do this. Yes, because if you make it out of plastic, you can mold it and things like that. But leather, you can mold naturally. If you soak it in water, it becomes soft and pliable. And when it's pliable, you shape it and mold it. So if you're trying to make a chest plate for somebody, I'm sure back in the day, it was almost molded to the person's chest. It was put over their chest while it was wet and kind of formed to their body. Then once removed, it would be left that way to dry, at least for part of the time. Now, in medieval times, they use a technique, and again, I can't even say this very well. It's cuir brûlé. It was a type of boiling or steaming the leather, which is what made it rock hard. And see, this is where, again, the pores, the properties of leather are incredible. And the vegetable tan leather allows these properties to prevail and makes it so unique. That's why vegetable tan leather is with saddles. Anything that's molded, shaped, formed is a vegetable tan leather, because that's what it's made to do. And that's what makes it unique. So you can wet it, you can form it, you're going to let it dry a little bit. Then in this case, it was either dipped in like boiling water, and it's tricky, because if you put it in for too long, it dries the leather out completely and like turns it almost to dust, and it disintegrates. If you don't do it enough, then it's not going to harden it enough. So steaming it was another, again, it was a long process. Now, not too many people do that today, but there are some artists out there that do use that techniques. I do know somebody here in New Hampshire that does that. Again, I took a class in it, not my thing. But still, what I make out of leather is not all that different than that, because things like the butterflies, things like pieces for a mask or whatever. I mean, this isn't the greatest example on that one, but this one has some more curled pieces, I guess. So there's just fun masks. If like I said for the techniques years ago, you wet the leather, you let it dry. Well, in this case, I wet it. While it's wet, I'm going to shape it, form it, put the wings the way I want to, and then I'm going to let it dry. Then I'm going to paint it. Now, again, if it's a real tiny one, I'm going to paint the front of it first. And I'm going to wet the back of it and mold it. Like I just said, instead of dipping the whole thing, I might just wet the back of it with a sponge, then mold it. Because sometimes a detail, if it's a little tiny earring or so forth, to paint or something, when it's all crinkled up, it's too hard to do. So it's easier to do it when it's open. So then I wet the back of it, mold it, let that dry. After that is dry, then I paint the back of it. I apply a finish to it. Again, remolding it a little bit, because again, sometimes the paint and things will soften a little bit. So you can remold it, shape it a little bit more how I want it. And then I'm going to put a finish on it, and that's going to make it almost like it's cardboard. So here's one that's hardened like that. Very stiff. You know, unlike this one where it's very bendable, this one is very stiff, and this one, I didn't even paint the back of it. It's just has a finish on it. So, again, medieval times, it was used for the armor, but it was also used for clothing. It was used for boots and footwear. It was used for containers and bags. It was used for things to sit on and furniture, bookbinding, tents, shelters. I mean, through history, leather has been one of the most versatile materials and used for many things. It is still used today. Now, the way I'm taking it, that jewelry might be a little bit different than what was used in the past, but these molding and shaping and forming abilities of it make it so fun to work with that I just cannot get enough of it. So, again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching this on Facebook or whatever, please leave a comment. Follow my page. If you're on YouTube, I would love if you subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, whatever you need to do. I'd love, to spread the word a little bit. I know these aren't the most exciting things in the world, but, it's tough for a single small business, one person, to grow their business and create things and do all this on your own. So please help me grow if you can. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye for now.